what also doesn't change the NAV per share is new shares being issued or old shares being redeemed. And that's because as new money comes in or old money goes back out, the shares are being either created or destroyed, so the number of shares stays consistent. Does that make sense?
Kind of. Not really.
Okay. All right. So let's just make it simple. If the NAV per share is $10, so that means that inside of the fund is $1 million and they have 100,000 shares. Make sense? So, because the NAV per share is what? The total NAV, the total amount that's in the mutual fund, divided by the number of shares, right? So if they had 100,000 shares and $1 million in the fund, each share would be worth what? $10.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, what if somebody comes along and decides to invest $1 million in the fund? So now the fund has what? $2 million.
Yeah.
But also, how many shares are there going to be?
Okay.
Well,
So
they're going to buy what?
the shares in relation
So now there's going to be what? $2 million and 200,000 shares. Because when that person puts that $1 million in, they're going to get what? They're going to create 100,000 shares.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense now. Thank you.
Right. And the same thing happens in reverse when money is redeemed. Because we got what? The money's going to come out, but so does the number of shares go down.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So those are the three things that do not change the share price per the price per share. Got it? Okay. Now there's actually three types of prospectuses. You have the full or statutory prospectus. Now the full or statutory prospectus is the full thick thing. Now back in the day when we had paper prospectuses, it was a big old thick thing, about 100, 150 pages. It was pretty thick, right? And it had basically all the details of what the person was investing in. Now, that has to be delivered at or before solicitation. At or before solicitation. What does that mean? That means if you meet with a client on your first appointment and you bring up the name of a specific mutual fund, you have solicited it because you brought it up. You are now going to have to give them a prospectus. So there's a difference between, I have mutual funds that have done 10% averaged over the last 20 years, and I have XYZ mutual fund that has averaged 10% over the last 20 years. Now I've got to give them the prospectus for XYZ mutual fund. Capiche? Right. Not at the time that you close the sale, at the time you solicit the sale. Because once again, it all has to do with transparency, right? If you're getting the client to consider buying something, you got to give them the information to make that decision.